What if the healthy oil you've been cooking with is actually destroying your body from the inside out? You might think you're making a smart choice by reaching for that bottle of vegetable oil, but what if it's silently wreaking havoc on your health? In this video, we're going to uncover the shocking truth about vegetable oils, how they went from being industrial waste to heart-healthy alternatives, and why they might be the hidden culprit behind many modern diseases. Now, imagine it's the 1950s and you're standing in your grandmother's kitchen. The air is thick with the aroma of sizzling bacon and freshly baked bread. On the counter, you spot a tub of creamy butter and a jar of glistening lard. These familiar fats have been kitchen staples for generations. But little do you know, a massive change is just around the corner. Fast forward a few years, and suddenly, heart disease is making headlines. Doctors and scientists are frantically searching for answers. What could be causing this alarming rise in cardiovascular problems? As they pore over data and conduct studies, a new theory emerges, the lipid hypothesis. This hypothesis suggests that saturated fats, like the ones found in butter and lard, are the main culprits behind heart disease. It's a compelling idea that quickly gains traction in the scientific community. But here's where things get interesting. This well-intentioned theory is about to set off a chain reaction that will transform the American diet in ways no one could have predicted. As word of the lipid hypothesis spreads, health organizations and government bodies start to take notice. They begin issuing new dietary recommendations, urging people to cut back on saturated fats. The food industry, always quick to adapt, sees an opportunity. They need a replacement for these traditional fats, and vegetable oils seem like the perfect solution. Suddenly, vegetable oils are everywhere. You walk into a grocery store, and the shelves are lined with bottles of corn oil, soybean oil, and the newest sensation, margarine. These products are marketed as heart-healthy alternatives to butter and lard. TV commercials show happy families spreading margarine on their toast, assuring viewers that they're making the right choice for their health. But what if this well-intentioned change was based on flawed science? What if, in our rush to solve one problem, we inadvertently created a whole new set of issues? You see, there's a shocking truth about vegetable oils that scientists in the 1950s overlooked. In their focus on saturated fat content, they failed to consider the long-term effects of introducing highly processed, unstable fats into our diets. These oils, which had never been a significant part of human nutrition throughout history, were now being consumed in massive quantities. Let's break this down a bit. Traditional fats like butter and lard are relatively stable at high temperatures and have been part of human diets for thousands of years. Our bodies know how to process them. But vegetable oils? They're a whole different story. These oils are often extracted using harsh chemical processes and are much more prone to oxidation and rancidity. When you heat these oils to high temperatures, as we often do in cooking, they can break down and form harmful compounds. It's like introducing a foreign substance into a finely tuned machine, your body. Over time, this can lead to all sorts of problems that the scientists of the 1950s couldn't have foreseen. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, it's just the beginning of a nutritional nightmare that's been unfolding over the past several decades. The shift towards vegetable oils wasn't just a simple swap in the kitchen. It was a fundamental change in the way our food is produced, processed, and consumed. As vegetable oils became more prevalent, they started showing up in places you might not expect. Snack foods, baked goods, and even seemingly healthy options like salad dressings were now loaded with these processed oils. The food industry had found a cheap, shelf-stable ingredient that could be used in almost anything. Today, these vegetable oils make up a significant portion of the average American's caloric intake. They're hidden in so many foods that it's almost impossible to avoid them unless you're extremely vigilant. And as we're now starting to take a serious toll on our health. Remember that granola bar you had for breakfast? Or the salad dressing on your lunch? Chances are you just consumed a hefty dose of vegetable oils without even realizing it. These oils have silently taken over our food supply, infiltrating nearly every aspect of our diet. They're not just in obvious culprits like fried foods and chips. They've made their way into seemingly healthy options too. When was the last time you checked the ingredient list on your protein bar? Or your favorite candy? These processed foods are often loaded with vegetable oils. Even your go-to Chinese takeout and that slice of pizza you grabbed last weekend are likely swimming in these oils. And it doesn't stop there. Baked goods, tacos, pretzels, mayonnaise, the list goes on and on. But surely you're thinking, a little bit can't hurt, right? Well, here's where things get really concerning. Dr. Shanahan, the author of Dark Calories, makes a pretty bold claim. She says that eating a serving of French fries cooked in these oils is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. Why? It's because of the supercharged toxicity that comes from multiple reheatings in deep fryers. That's right. Every time you indulge in those crispy, golden fries, you might as well be lighting up. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I'll just avoid fast food and cook everything at home. But even if you're a health-conscious cook, these oils are incredibly hard to avoid. They've become so deeply entrenched in our food system that they're everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Let's talk about institutional settings for a moment. Think about school cafeterias, nursing homes, hospitals, prisons, and even military mess halls. A significant portion of meals served in these places are laced with poor quality seed oils. So, if you or someone you know eats regularly in these settings, they're likely consuming a hefty dose of these oils without any say in the matter. Granola bars, often touted as a nutritious snack, are frequently loaded with these oils. And that vinaigrette you drizzled over your salad in an attempt to eat healthier, it's likely packed with them too. These hidden sources make it incredibly difficult for consumers to avoid vegetable oils, even when they're actively trying to make healthier choices. So, how much of these oils are we actually consuming? An astounding 30% of the average American's total daily calories come from just 8 types of vegetable oils. That's nearly a third of our daily energy intake coming from a source that our bodies aren't really designed to process in such large quantities. The oils in your morning muffin, your lunchtime sandwich, your afternoon snack, and your evening meal all add up. Let's travel back in time to the 1960s, when a groundbreaking study called the Minnesota Coronary Experiment was underway. This wasn't just any study. It was a massive undertaking involving thousands of participants designed to settle the debate on saturated fats versus vegetable oils once and for all. The researchers were confident they'd prove that replacing saturated fats with vegetable oils would lead to better heart health and longer lives. Now, here's where things get interesting. The initial results of this study were used to promote vegetable oils as heart-healthy alternatives to saturated fats. It seemed like case closed, right? But there's a twist to this tale that'll make your jaw drop. The full results of this landmark study weren't published until decades later. Can you believe it? A study that shaped our entire approach to nutrition was sitting on a treasure trove of unpublished data for nearly half a century. So, what happened when researchers finally dusted off those old files and crunched all the numbers? Not only did vegetable oils fail to reduce heart disease risk as everyone had assumed, but there was evidence suggesting they might actually increase it. Now, you're probably wondering what exactly the Minnesota Coronary Experiment revealed about saturated fats versus vegetable oils. Replacing saturated fats with vegetable oils did lower cholesterol levels, just as the original hypothesis predicted. But, and this is a big but, it didn't reduce the risk of death from heart disease or other causes. In fact, for every 30-point drop in cholesterol levels, the risk of death actually increased by 22%. Dr. Shanahan says the consumption of omega-6 polyunsaturated fat, particularly linoleic acid, has skyrocketed in the Western diet, primarily through these vegetable oils we've all been encouraged to use. This dramatic increase might actually be contributing to atherosclerosis and coronary heart disease, the very conditions these oils were supposed to prevent. You've probably heard that sugar is the ultimate dietary villain, lurking in our food and sabotaging our health. But what if there's an even bigger threat hiding in plain sight? Let's zoom in to the cellular level, where the real damage of vegetable oils occurs. Imagine your body as a bustling city, with cells as the buildings and cellular membranes as the walls. Now, picture vegetable oils as a group of rowdy troublemakers sneaking into these buildings and wreaking havoc. That's essentially what's happening inside your body when you consume these oils. Vegetable oils don't just add empty calories to your diet, they fundamentally alter how your cells function. These oils, rich in omega-6 fatty acids, actually intercalate with your cell membranes. In simpler terms, they wedge themselves into the very structure of your cells, disrupting the delicate balance that keeps everything running smoothly. But why is this such a big deal? Well, your cell membranes aren't just walls. They're like the cell's command center, responsible for communication and regulating what goes in and out. When vegetable oils interfere with this process, it's like jamming the signals between different parts of your body. Suddenly, your cells can't talk to each other effectively, and chaos ensues. And it gets worse. Remember the mitochondria you learned about in biology class? The powerhouses of the cell? Vegetable oils mess with them too. These tiny energy factories become less efficient, struggling to produce the fuel your body needs to function properly. It's like trying to run a car on watered-down gasoline. You might still move, but you're definitely not performing at your best. All this cellular chaos leads to a perfect storm of inflammation and oxidative stress throughout your body. And you know what loves to thrive in this inflammatory environment? Chronic diseases. We're talking heart disease, cancer, and a whole host of other health issues that nobody wants to deal with. Surely sugar is still worse, right? Well, vegetable oils might actually be more harmful than sugary foods. The very oils that have been marketed as heart-healthy for decades could be doing more damage than the sweet stuff we've been told to avoid. But the damage doesn't stop at your cells and organs. These oils might be messing with your mind in ways you never imagined. Dr. Shanahan's research suggests that the consumption of refined vegetable oils not only promotes inflammation, but also undermines immune function. This can lead to a faster aging of your immune system and even contribute to autoimmune disorders. Experts are now recommending healthier options like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and unrefined coconut oil. These choices are less processed and more in line with what our bodies are designed to handle. If you enjoyed this summary, please subscribe to our channel